Hi, my name is Leonard, and thank you for allowing me the time to speak to you today. I have Hemophilia A at 2%. However, I am treated as severe because of other medical complications resulting from birth trauma. As a result, I have other conditions. These are hydrocephalus, ABI vision loss, mild cerebral palsy, and some learning difficulties. Hydrocephalus is caused by abnormally high pressure in the brain caused by the buildup of cerebrospinal fluid. Because of this, I have a VP shunt which drains the excess spinal fluid from my brain. The next challenge I have is a rare form of ABI vision loss known as paranoid or dorsal midbrain syndrome. This means I can only see with one eye at a time, and I have no control over when one eye switches off and the other one takes over. As well, both eyes have limited peripheral vision and very limited up and down gaze. Because of the monocular vision, I have no depth perception and would trip over easily. The other resulting challenge is mild palsy, which means that one side of my body is weaker than the other, which causes issues with my balance and mobility. All of the above have affected in some way my ability to learn in mainstream education. In terms of my vision impairment, technology has played a big part in my education and daily life. I started to become acquainted with the computer since prep and have learnt to touch type. Learning new software also comes naturally to me. This was a real asset during the lockdown, as all my classes were conducted online and we mostly worked in isolation. In addition, I had to learn a new music software on my own to complete my music compositions in my final unit at university. Reading music scores was fraught with difficulty due to my vision and coordination issues. However, my piano teacher patiently encouraged me to read music notation. Because of a fear of repeat shunt revisal surgeries, I never felt safe doing sports, so I gravitated towards music. As a child, I was fascinated and loved hearing the beautiful melodic sounds created by my aunts and cousins on the piano. With my limited vision, I would learn each part separately and then learn to coordinate both hands and then ditch the book and play from memory. My short-term memory was severely impacted by all the neurosurgeries, but my long-term memory is fantastic. I was surprised to discover that due to my limited vision, my hearing is very acute, and it is perfect for music. Mum helps me enlarge the pages to A3, and often she has to increase the white spaces in between the staves. As I am not involved in team sports, and classical piano is very much a solitary instrument, I picked up the clarinet and joined the school band for several years until year 12, when I had a severe cerebral bleed, which hospitalized me for 6 weeks, and as a result I had to give it up. Recently, I have completed a Bachelor of Arts with 2 majors in music and psychology at ACU. I chose psychology because I was intrigued to discover how my brain works and how people generally learn. And even though I passed, I still don't know. Normally a 3-year course, I completed it on a half-time basis due to my vision impairment. Even though I completed all of my assessments by the deadline, it was a struggle to juggle my time between reading the textbook, copious amounts of researching, and completing my assignments. During the 2020 lockdown, I struggled with collaborative assignments via Zoom. My study partners thought I was being lazy and uncooperative, but I was actually just slower because it took me so long to find relative data on the internet. It was a dark moment in my student life, but once I told them about my vision impairment, they were more understanding. It definitely improved the whole experience. Lastly, I will talk about my experience with hemophilia. There was a time when I hated my condition. I couldn't cope with the constant injections which caused massive needle phobia. Even with all the challenges, I now realize that I can still count my blessings. I have had excellent medical care and support both at RCH and currently at the Alfred. Changing my treatment from Factor VIII to Hemlibra has definitely been a godsend. When I was first told about the new regimen, I was excited as I only had to do it once a week as opposed to 2 or 3 times a week, which I needed for 22 years. Due to my vision impairment, I have always relied on one of my parents to do the injecting either via a port or intravenously. This new treatment is subcutaneous and has meant that I can do my own injections. To my surprise, I found that the whole procedure was more straightforward and less complicated compared to the sterile procedure for the port, as there are fewer components to organize. Preparation can take place over a smaller area and it takes less time, as there is no need for complex sterile setup. With Hemlibra, you only need to swap the bottle tip as well as the injection site. With intravenous injections, I was always fearful of the needle hitting a nerve. At times the vein would hide or tissue mid-infusion and the whole procedure had to start all over again. This caused a lot of angst for me. When I first saw the Hemlibra kit, I was so surprised to discover how small the vial and syringe were, and the little amount of product required compared to the normal Factor VIII. The only challenge for me was reading the fine measurements, which I managed to overcome by purchasing a cheap pair of magnifying glasses from the local chemist. I did my first 2 treatments at the Alfred under the supervision of the Hemophilia nurses Penny and Megan. Since then, I've been successfully self-infusing at home. As my confidence grows, I find that the transition has been smooth and without too many hassles. Overall, the whole experience has been positive, and I think it will allow me more freedom and independence in the future. For me, life now feels more in control because I can self-infuse instead of relying on my folks. Thank you for listening to my speech.